John Kerr Jr. assisted by the other Silver Fox, Michael Brady. We're underway alongside Cedric Burke. I'm Dean Linke. Wake Forest in the light gold, Duke in the blue with the white and the blue socks. ACC men's soccer on ACC Network Extra on a busy Saturday night. Perfect conditions. Hard to believe we're mid-October, as knocked to the ground was Masalas.
And Dean, we see from the opening whistle this Wake Forest defense setting the tone. Coach Mew said they are going to press and press high and aggressively, and they are not going to let the Blue Devils build out of the back.
Wake Forest, as it sometimes happens, has been decimated by injuries this year. As here's Colton Pleasance. Colton Pleasance really shining. Spent time at UNCW, former NCFC Youth Academy player. There are 3 that will feature in this game.
Colton Pleasant's a guy that has dealt with some fairly serious injuries throughout his career. He's finally healthy, and he is absolutely flourishing in this Blue Devil offense.
Sent across. The shield there, kept alive by Duke. There's Trevor Burns. Shot from distance. Alphen with the save. And Trace Alphen, another NCFC Youth Academy player. Saw the shot and the save there coming from Alphen.
That was quite the shot to start the game. We'll see Burns and these midfielders are not going to shy away from shooting early. Alphen has been tested, but he hasn't given anything up in 3 games. They're going to test him early, see what he has.
Julius Suver, a freshman who has worked his way into the starting lineup with the new formation change, and John Kerr Jr. really high on this youngster.
Very high. He's imposed his will pretty early in the season. He's earned his minutes. He's done a great job creating opportunities in the box and winning his 1v1 battles. Coach Kerr specifically said in short spurts, you know, he brings a lot of aggression and really imposes his will in the match.
Freshman from Kirkland, Washington. Duke leads the all-time series 24-17 and 8. Last year, Duke won a thriller 3-2. The first meeting, the last meeting actually was 2022. They did not play each other last year. That's rare.
That is rare. First time in Durham since 2020. You know, the changing ACC, you're used to seeing those Big 4 matchups every year.
Here's Burns. Cedric talking, of course, about Duke, North Carolina, NC State, and Wake Forest. There's Suber. We just talked about him posing his will, and he just hit it right there. Well said, Cedric.
Well, he's aggressive, and we noticed right there not only the first ball, but he represses and he goes for that second ball. He's not playing like a freshman.
Duke comes in with a very feisty win at Elon. As you correctly pointed out on the call with John Kerr Jr., that's a good team.
Well, Elon's an outstanding team. They've had a great season, some really big wins. And Rudd Field is not an easy place to play at.
Cito. Played back to Hot.
We really see from a build standpoint with this 3-back, Duke is doing a good job of finding those interior mids, whether it be Hot or Burns, are constantly checking and recycling their runs.
I've been doing this long enough where I kind of have some standard questions that help kind of set the tone for me. And, you know, the one I love to watch or ask, and that is, you know, if you were Will Black, our fine producer, I'll say to the coaches, who would you pick to highlight? And John Kerr Jr. has got 17 goals up top, and he went Keenan Hot, and that's spoken like a coach, right? Because he understands that it's the players that don't get a whole lot of recognition that are kind of the glue to the team.
And he didn't hesitate in calling out Mr. Hot, and you're right. He's the glue, and he's been much more aggressive in terms of leadership this season. We really see him not only being the consistent 6, so to speak, in that offense that switches the point of attack, but he's also been stepping up and getting involved offensively more as well.
Of course, we're talking about number 23, Keenan Hot, the junior from Lidencroft, New Jersey, Middleton South High School. Suber. Taken away there by Amani Thomas. Thomas, a youngster out of Canada. It's a really, really young back line, mostly because of injuries, and then also because of a youngster like Thomas coming in ready to play at this high level.
And we see Suber again creating that corner with the repress opportunity.
ACC men's soccer at halftime will show you the RPI with the number of ACC teams, top 50 RPI all the way through. And kept alive by Duke. Burns. Drop it back over to Jorgensen. Set in. Masalas, far side, just a little bit too deep for Acito.
And we see in possession the identity of this Duke team. There wasn't a player within 10 yards of the center circle. They want to get numbers up high and create opportunities in the box. That is the identity of this team.
Meanwhile, for Bobby Muse, he wanted to see his team win the second balls and try to slow down Duke. He wanted to press properly and then break lines versus that Duke pressure and connect passes.
And really win the battle, you know, fight to play. You know, win the battle in the first 5 to 15 minutes and then open up and then we play.
Luckhurst!
That didn't miss by much, Dean. That did not miss by much. And we see what Luckhurst does. I mean, he really creates those nifty opportunities for himself. He can play off the ball. He can also open up. We see him win his 1v1 battle, and he doesn't miss that right post by much. It was a very quick 1v1 move in the box.
Adam Luckhurst grew up in Santa Barbara, California. His dad is from the UK, came over here, went to Cal, and then ended up being a really good kicker in the NFL. Kicked for the Atlanta Falcons. Mick Luckhurst from 81 to 87. He was 115 out of 164 in his career for field goals. That's pretty good. A lot of these players have some famous dads and moms.
It's a pretty cool thing to see those second generation players from those pedigrees come around.
Well, including Drew Kerr. As he and his brother, key part of the Duke Blue Devils. Pleasance takes the shot quickly. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists. He had 4 goals and 1 assist in 4 years at UNC Wilmington. Cedric Burke already told you there was a lot of injuries during those 4 years. As you see, Drew Kerr there for a second. The junior, he's another NCFC Youth Academy player, so he knows Alphen really well. And there's Drew Kerr making a pretty good run, looking very similar, his gait and everything, to his dad.
Trying to get the ball in that magic left boot he possesses.
No whistle as going down to the ground for Wake Forest is Sidney Paris.
This Blue Devil team does such a good job in transition defense. That was Colton Pleasance who won that ball nearly in the 18. He's playing as a 10. Entire team drops back and gets numbers behind the ball, then they attack.
So here's Spiel, the Hofstra transfer by way of the Netherlands, 4-year starter at Hofstra. Last year he had a .80 goals against average with 67 saves. He's got 22 saves and 1 shutout on the season.
Dean, we're watching the 2 most experienced goalkeepers in college soccer right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spiel's got 85 starts in his career. Alphen has 67 coming into this evening.
That's a lot of playing time. Both of them quality. Alphen has already had to make a big save. Here's Burns. Burns, one of those with a famous dad, Mike Burns, a member of the 92 U.S. Olympic team and the 94 World Cup team. Longtime player in the MLS, longtime executive, now with Sporting KC, and Peter Remise. Wake Forest going the other way. Hot tries to slow down the Wake Forest attack.
It's Bassett Umar, the Dayton transfer. He's got some wheels, man. He can get him out on the attack.
Bassett Umar with 1 goal and 1 assist. as Cedric said, by way of Dayton, but part of the amazing Right to Dream Academy that has sent so many great players to colleges all over the country. Jorgensen. You'll see Jorgensen at times in central midfield, but really it's him stepping up at one of the three backs that has allowed John Kerr Jr. to go back to the system that he truly prefers, right?
Yeah. This is, you know, having that confidence and that experience has allowed them to get back to what they do best. You know, this is where they were their best last year, and they picked off where they left off.
There's Woofy. There's Bjornsson with 8 goals and 2 assists, the sophomore from Iceland. Finally healthy. Suber. Suber will earn a corner kick. Corner kick.
Second one he's earned, Dean. You were absolutely correct. He just imposes his will. Relentless motor on that left wing.
So Hot, who will come over to take the corner for Duke. Their second of the game. Trace Alfin. Both arms in the air, ready for Hot. Hot, pretty good ball. Snapped out of there by the Demon Deacons. Pleasance. That's the second time he has taken a shot. I really don't mind that. I mean, that's a little deep, and clearly he mishit it. But if he does get laces on it, you just never know. There's a swerve on it. You got to do something special to get it by a player as talented as Trace Alfin.
Got to take shots to score. You can see why this team leads the country in scoring. They are not afraid to shoot it from anywhere.
Forrest talked about second balls and breaking lines. They've done it right there. And they hit this one high over. They saw Spiel out just a little bit. You're not going to beat Spiel with something like that.
Well, Dean, and in kind, we can see why this Wake Forest team leads the country in shots.
Hey, I guess that one counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Spiel, a 6'7" giant. Stone moves on. He was pretty close to 6'7", wasn't he? He might have been 6'7".
He was 6'7".
Yeah,
absolutely. And he covered every bit of that frame.
Burns. 50-50 ball won there by Wake Forest. What a lovely touch right there. Now Wake Forest is on.
It's a phenomenal touch.
Back across again. This was the man who started with the lovely touch, as it was Umar. Wow, we might have to find that again, that pass from Umar to start the attack. That was incredible. And here's Alfin before Luckhurst.
That was the best build of the game for these Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And again, Duke transition defense to meet that attack.
Wow, Umar's everywhere. Like, he's come all the way back. And it was Umar who started that with the... It was kind of a behind the back, right? He took it around with his leg and dropped it over, right?
Dropped it over, then immediately spun off and put himself in position to receive the return pass.
And yet he's back here to receive the ball to start the attack again.
And that's really, I think, going to be a theme for this game. Both of these teams play similar in style. They're up and down, box to box, very fast paced.
Wake will play it back. Thomas will go to Alfin. Nick Bosser, the referee. Rick Rogers on one line. Jason White on the other. Clive Edwards is your fourth official. That is the officiating crew tonight.
That was an aggressive header. They called correctly.
Offside flag is up against Wake. Demon Deacons with a 5-3-4 record, a 0-0 draw against Wofford. Duke 5-2-3 following that 2-1 victory over Elon. I think of Wofford, I think of the gentleman Ralph Polson, who is now a referee and longtime key person with United Soccer Coaches, formerly NSCAA. Here's Suber on the other side doing the defensive work.
Wofford's a really good side, you know, as Coach Muse pointed out. I mean, they probably a little underrated. That was a very good match.
Bobby Muse, top man, 13 straight NCAA tournament appearances. He coached his son to a 9-2 victory, and then went and watched his daughter, who's now playing college volleyball, and they crushed the opposition in 3 sets. He said it was so dominant he can't remember who they played. But it sounds like his daughter is a big-time volleyball player.
Yeah, sounds like she's quite the player. Not a bad day for the household thus far. And this is the most time that Wake Forest has spent in possession in the Duke half, which is really what they want to do. They've got to pin these Duke wingbacks back and find space in between the lines and try to get expansive.
Pressure. Spiel will drop it long. Salas went back to Spiel. Pick your poison as Duke has Luckhurst and Bjornsson up top. Running in tandem.
And rare lost ball from Ruben Marsalis over there. He can join that attack too from his left back position.
This is the first of 2 Big Four matchups for Wake Forest down the final stretch of the regular season, as the Demon Deacons are combined 18-4-3 against Duke, NC State, and North Carolina since 2015. That's pretty good.
It's more than pretty good, Dean. I'd say that's pretty dominant.
Yeah.
You know, as Coach Moose pointed out to us, this team has not snuck up on anyone in 20 years. This has been a dominant program on a national stage as well as at the ACC level.
Yeah, he's a quote machine.
Always enjoy those conversations, Coach Moose.
54 ACC regular season wins since 2015. That's the most in the ACC. Right in the back. Wake Forest, 3 players that are regulars that have not played at all this year. Liam O'Gara, Pierce Bateson, who won't play this season, and Jojo Davila. And then 2 players that suffered season-ending injuries is Christian Escribano, who had a broken leg, big-time player. And Wake Forest from distance, right at Spiel. Vlad Wallant. And then also their leading goal scorer, Babakar Niang, with 4 goals. He is out. So those are 6 players that play a ton. Let's take a look at this last shot.
And those are hard guys to replace. That was a solid shot. Spill takes it down like just in a day's work. Prince Panza, who Coach Moose pointed out to us as his player to highlight, he's been dominant in the back. Last play, he started that attack, stepping in front of Bjornsson to cut it off. He's quite the physical presence, brings a ton of experience into this match.
Suber back from Burns. Burns, who would get his 2nd yellow and get red carded out of that heartbreaking loss to the Tar Heels on a really successful alumni day. I think you said, Cedric, most players that have ever been back. Coach Rennie was back as well, but then the heartbreaking defeat to North Carolina.
Yeah, great alumni presence. The '84 national championship team, as well as all the ACC championship regular season, as well as tournament teams were honored. It was a solid weekend. An unfortunate loss.
Panza.
And he went box to box 2 games ago against Boston College to score 1.
Panza and Trace Elfin, as well as Cooper Flax, the only 3 players to start every game for Wake Forest, just to give you an idea of what Coach Bobby Muse has had to deal with this year.
One thing Coach was pointed out was load management simply has not been possible. You know, with all those injuries, these guys have had to go. You know, and honestly, you know, there's not a lot of training time once you get in the heat of the season.
And Panza, a brilliant ball to Paris. Back across. Really good opportunity from Wake Forest. Hustling over to keep it in bounds. I think that was Burns. That man is everywhere. He's a tremendous worker.
He's got quite the motor. He's next in line of the lineage of those Duke midfielders who can control the game with their effort. We see Paris. Nice cross across the box. Burns, as you pointed out, great defensive play to get back there. That was Cameron Acito, right? Yes.
That was going to be a Paris to Paris finish right there, as it was Sidney Paris passing to Paris Mitchell.
Cameron Acito has been so strong for this Duke back line. This season, he's really emerged as a leader. We see the captain armband. He's more vocal. We see him barking out instructions. He keeps his team organized, especially the midfielders in front of him.
Forrest, bring it back to Panza, who's just got a great presence out there, the grad student from the Bronx in New York.
Panza's a future pro. He is as solid as they come in the back line.
Ryan Thomas. Who knows, based on our conversation with the always animated Bobby Muse, he could be playing against Bobby Muse in the pros.
Bobby said he can still knock it. He was the first to raise his hand in terms of current players and coaches on the roster that could be professionals.
Well, and then he mentioned Steve Armas, pretty good player. 10th season at Wake Forest. He was the head coach at Campbell for a little bit. Dean Brenner, who's 14 seasons there. What a great guy he is. And Dave Taiwo, who went to NC State. Cardinal Gibbons grad, his 3rd season at Wake Forest.
Dave's still a youngin'. He can still knock it.
He's a beast. Flag is up offside.
And we see Wake Forest from an identity standpoint, these probing through balls. They're trying to separate this Duke back line and find spaces between those midfielders. And they've done it to some success so far.
We look at Spiel, part of a Blue Devil team that lead the country in goals per game with more than 3 per showing. Every team's got issues, right? Wake Forest can shoot it like crazy. They have trouble scoring. John Kerr Jr. admitted that his team has trouble pitching shutouts. They only got 1 on the season.
Yeah, they have to score a lot of goals because they give a few up.
You see right there, 1.6 goals allowed per game. But they're scoring a ton. Here's Wake Forest really playing some gorgeous balls here. It's a little bit behind. Wake's got a chance to crank one here and deflected off of Marsalis, who got back. Boy, Wake Forest breaking down lines with really well-angled passing.
Well, what they've really tried to do is match wingers up with outside backs and isolate a center back and then break the lines that way. When Duke gets too far up, and they've been successful, they can counter very quickly to match this Duke counterattack defense.
Flax had it for a moment. Over to Umar. Umar, again, will track back to find the ball. He does it there. Pressure coming. And now we'll find Amani Thomas, the young freshman. Good turn inside coming from Sidney Paris. Back to Umar again. Now here's Woofy. He'll drop it back. Suber. Square it to Hot. Hot's got some space. Hot's got a ton of time. He'll find Pleasance. Now Kerr. Kerr going to cut inside. Talked about that left foot. He cranks it.
That's what he wants. Drew Kerr wants to cut in and get a shot with that left foot. Now we see Bjornsson did a great job holding it up. He can play both going to goal as well as his back to goal. He held that up, and not only held it up, he gave direction to his teammate to find Kenny Hott to create that distribution. Drew Kerr with a good job cutting across the box, trying to get that open left shot.
Got to remember his dad, the coach, former player of the year, but his mom was an outstanding player at Virginia as well. Tracy. Another corner kick for Duke. Needs another opportunity to try to find Bjornsson, who is down.
I saw Bjornsson before the match when I was walking up, and he screamed at me across the stadium, "Let's have a day."
All right.
He looked ready to go.
I like hearing that.
And we see this corner again. Bjornsson goes up for it. Looks like he got undercut just a little bit. They got their feet tangled.
Kruger was over there with Impanza. Nico Rabiu has come into the game, the redshirt sophomore out of Schenectady, New York, and Bergen Catholic High School. One again by Umar. Bassett Umar with another brilliant pass as he's getting hit. The play advantage. And the shot off of it. Not there. And that kind of encapsulates kind of what we opened the show with, no?
Absolutely. And Dean, we see what spaces Wake is trying to exploit. It is those spaces on the wing where they can isolate one of the center backs behind an overload. Cameron Aceto, good job standing his ground, just forced him just wide enough.
Wake Forest now with 3 shots, Duke with 4. As Wake had a little bit more of the last 5 minutes. Umar. Another good pass. As Rabiu drops it back. Now Wake. Flag is up, offside. Rabiu a little bit too early. Wow, this first half is just flying along here.
It is. It's an exciting brand of soccer being played right now.
7 total shots, 4 for Duke, 3 for Wake. Each team with 1 shot on goal. Each goalkeeper talked about their experience. The 2 most experienced goalkeepers in the land, Spiel for Duke and Alphen for Wake. Both Spiel and Alphen with 1 save each. Is fouled, so Duke will get it back. The Wake Forest fans don't like the call. As coming into the game now for Duke, Luke Thomas, who has started quite a few games, and Cameron Kerr.
And we see this battle. That was close. I think Kenny Hott just got enough of a toe on that ball to justify the foul.
Colin Thomas is in for Bobby Muse, wearing number 26. Bjornsson drops it over, trying to find Kerr.
Talk about a super stub. Cam Kerr almost came into the match and had an opportunity on goal.
Cameron Kerr decided to come back for 1 more year. Get his master's at Duke, not a bad deal. You see Luckhurst behind Alphen. Alphen may not be 6'7", but he has a presence.
Oh, quite the presence. He's had a presence since he was 15 years old.
Another Duke corner. Knocked away by Wake Forest. So it'll be 5 corners early doors here.
And Wake defensively has done a very good job man marking and maintaining defensive structure on these corners.
It's Dylan Borso into the game, the freshman from Chicago, wearing number 8 for Wake Forest in the light gold uniforms. Looped all the way around, and on the far side, Drew Kerr, as Drew and Cameron, a lot of times they'll sub for each other, but more and more they're playing on the field at the same time, which you love to see as you see Bjornsson, a 6'2" sophomore out of Iceland. Under 15 minutes remaining, still no score. As I mentioned, stick around at halftime as we'll take a look at how many ACC men's soccer teams are inside the top 50 RPI.
Princeton Ponds is so confident in the back, Dean.
Good pressure from Duke, but Wake deals with it.
Duke's having success breaking lines now.
Yeah, they have. Just like that, they're in and around the 18. Bassett, Umar gives it back, and a save from Spiel, the big man from the Netherlands, and there's a foul afterwards.
Phenomenal save by Spiel. It looks like the PK's been awarded. Have to see that one again. Camasito got down on that, but the way he jumped up after the play, he was definitely questioning. This Borso with the shot. Spill made a phenomenal save. Camasito comes in. Looks like he got a little bit of ball, but he followed through with the leg.
So the penalty kick is awarded.
There you go.
And taking it for Wake Forest is Cooper Flax.
He's the metrodome. He runs this midfield. He's the leader on this team.
Started every game. 3 goals on the season, trying to make it 4. Spiel, his arms wide open. Now he sets. Flax, and what a save from Spiel. Read it perfectly. The Duke fans love it, as Flax is denied by the 6'7" giant Spiel.
Dean, that was never in question from the moment he took it. Spiel took a confident approach, knew exactly where he was going, and simply beat him to the corner. He knew where he was going the whole time, and he was there. Used every bit of that 6'7" frame. Great save.
Big time save. Boy, a great move. He knew where he was going, and he faked the other way as well. That probably gave Flax even more confidence it was going to be there. But boy, 6'7" with the wingspan, as another former Duke Blue Devil Jay Billis would say, probably 7'7" wingspan, and the drinking game would start. I mean, he used that wingspan. I mean, there was no way, short of maybe 2 more inches over, that was going to go in. A great save from Spiel, denying the penalty.
What an absolute weapon he is in the back for these Blue Devils. You talk about instilling confidence in your team. Usually when you see a PK awarded, you see the team freak out. No one freaked out because they knew they had Wessel Spiel in goal.
Cut inside by Duke. Salas. Jorgensen to Bjornsson, as it's Norway to Iceland, and it works. Kerr back over to Bjornsson. Woofy, they call him, on the hunt for goal number 9 to tie his running mate up top there, Adam Luckhurst.
Well, again, Bjornsson, they want to find him as an outlet, whether it be with his head, front to goal, back to goal. If he brings it down, good things happen.
Thomas. Oh, if he brings it down, good things happen. He tried to bring it down with his head, and good things almost happened for Bjornsson.
Wolfie thought he had number 9 in sights, Dean. Great cross by Luke Thomas. Wolfie gets in, flicks it. Good job creating power in that header. That's not easy to do.
I mean, incredible ball. He might have even been targeting Drew Kerr, and then to have the imposing Bjornsson behind him. You see why Duke can score so many goals. They have a lot of players committed to being inside the box on the crosses. To give Wake credit, though, they have broken down these lines pretty well. They've eliminated quite a few Duke players as they've broken down the lines and had some shots. I guess we shouldn't be surprised when we saw those stats.
Well, they're executing the game plan to a team. Coach Muse really said this team wants to play fast but not rush, win second balls, don't allow themselves to get stretched and break lines. That's exactly what they're doing.
So corner kick coming.
There you go, Dean. The only D1 team with 250 plus shots on the season. 250 shots.
Wow. That's a lot of shots. Cooper Flax, the corner kick, will need to shake off having that penalty kick denied. Panza comes forward. Back over to Amani Thomas. Luke Thomas. I would like to see Luke Thomas. He had more space than he realized. He had time to dribble it and get out of trouble as opposed to just giving it right back to Wake Forest that time, Cedric.
Yeah, definitely a bit rushed, and his teammates have to let him know. That's where you take your space. Not slow it down, but slow it down in terms of getting your teammates up so you've got numbers behind the ball.
Jorgensen wins the foot race to play it back to Spiel. Now it'll find Luke Thomas. John Kerr Jr. looking to get some more players in there. Jamie Kabusu, who has started a few games. So our bib also looking to come in. He's been playing more. And freshman from London. And there's one more down there. This is a good run. And Spiel, who's having himself another blinder at the top of the 18. Perfectly timed by Spiel.
Well, perfectly timed, but that opportunity was created with Wake Forest getting numbers up. You had Borso out on the wing. You had two open players, and essentially center back had to make a decision.
Thomas. Good move by Thomas to get in the 18, but then kind of ran out of ideas.
And we see again on the build, Spiel does a great job getting off his line, not even allowing that chance to materialize. And Dean, you mentioned Luke Thomas. It hasn't quite materialized yet. He's done a great job cutting in with inverted opportunities.
So Kabusu into the game. Our Beebe into the game. So Luckhurst will get a break for the final 8 minutes. And Jose Ortega, number 13, the junior out of Bethesda, Maryland, into the game for John Kerr Jr. and Duke.
And Kabusu brings some speed over to that right side of the Duke defense. Everything's been going down Wake Forest's left for the most part. A lot of tactical chess moves we'll see in this match.
Yeah, Wake's going to go back to their bench and bring in Ryan Bilal, a freshman from Baltimore, Maryland, and Calvert Hall High School. You see him right there wearing number 14 coming into the game for the Demon Deacons.
He's a load, man. He is a physical presence. He can impose himself in the match.
Both teams with 5 shots each. One of the shots for Wake Forest came from the penalty spot, but it was denied by Wessel Spiel, who's got 3 saves, including the save of the Cooper Flax PK. Thomas. Really good ball as he plays it over to Cameron Kerr. Kerr making a good run. Boy, Thomas has done really well off the bench here.
He's been ultra aggressive this match. I mean, he's really set the tone since he's coming, whether it be cutting in or this time he went down his natural left. And Cam Kerr almost gets that one in that left slot.
Right behind Kerr was Ortega. I mean, this is setting up a little bit like an NBA game now, where both teams have used enough subs where it's almost a full second rotation against the second rotation, yet nothing is dropping.
Yeah, if this was an NBA match, this game would be in the 130s or 140s.
Forest along the way breaking those lines. They have been aggressive in the transition with 3 offside called here in the first half. They can get the timing down and somehow get a one-on-one opportunity against Spiel. They may have a chance to put one in the back of the net. They couldn't do it from the penalty spot, though. That's why we're still at 0s. Pipeline to the pros for both these programs, pretty impressive, but Wake Forest really does do an amazing job moving players up. Jack Harrison over at Everton. Alistair Johnston with Celtic FC. Mark McKenzie playing overseas. Major League Soccer, former Wake Forest Demon Deacons, Brandon Cervania. Amir Fernandez, Calvin Harris, Ian Harks. It was interesting when you see Cooper Flax out there, just kind of the way he plays reminds me a little bit of what Ian Harks did for Wake Forest. Is that fair?
Yeah, very fair. Very similar players. Same type of pedigree. And Flax had it was a league, USL League 2 all-league selection this summer, and he carried it right over into this fall season.
North Carolina FC with 3 former Demon Deacons, Colin Martin, Ja'Cory Hayes, and the Irish Ninja, Kira Fitzgerald. Burns trying to stay busy, but Dylan Borso has looked strong off the bench. He has been involved in quite a bit. Nifty little move by Wake. Hot. Gets a piece of it. Shot from distance, and Spiel pounds it down and then picks it up as he lays inside the 6. Spiel.
And that was a great job by Wake Forest, finding space behind the overload and switching the point of attack and getting over. And that was a good shot. Spiel just makes those saves look easy.
4 saves for Spiel, including the penalty kick save. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Phenomenal job by the youngster, Amani Thomas, winning that aerial battle. It does go out of bounds and back to Duke. Nice crowd here. The crowd in front of us starting to fill in on a gorgeous Saturday night in Durham at Koskinen. Wonderful stadium.
And Dave, we see these battles over here. One thing Coach Moose said about Amani Thomas over there is he loves to defend. You know, he can get into the attack and he's very effective, but he loves the challenge of defending, and we can see it on display.
Trace Alfin going to take his time. Had to make a diving save early, but since then really has just kind of had to deal with traffic on the multiple corner kicks from Duke. They've had 5. Jorgensen has it ripped away. Once again, a good run from Borso. I mean, Borso's come off the bench and basically kind of, in the way he's played, kind of said, I don't belong on the bench. I mean, he's been solid wearing number 8 out there for Wake.
Borso's a very high pedigree recruit, and he's played some good minutes this season. You're right. He came on and immediately imposed his will in this match.
Another great job by the youngster, Amani Thomas. as Beebe will get a yellow card. A freshman from London with good size, 6'4".
Monty Thomas is hard to get around. We can see him frustrating this Duke offense a little bit. He just keeps his body in front of the ball. That's great defense right there.
It's Monty Thomas with that great defense that gets it over to Prince Mpanza. Play it back to Elfin, and here's Prince again.
Again, Prince Mpanza's composure on display. He rarely makes an incorrect decision.
Fourth offside. How about Wake? I mean, it starts with Prince, and in literally just 2 passes, I mean, and all of them 1 touches, they go like 80 yards.
And they're not even coming into an interior mid. They're doing it all through the outside.
Thomas with a good spin, and he is fouled, and now a yellow will come out for Amani Thomas. And perhaps all things are equal.
Professional foul, probably a little high on the field to go to the jersey tug. He had teammates behind him. Just a little bit of rookie overexuberance, probably.
You saw John Kerr Jr. helping out the official there.
He does not miss much.
Nick Bosser had it covered, though. Arbib. One back, Burns. 1 minute. This is Kabusu. Talked about that speed over on the right side. He earns the corner kick.
And as the season's has progressed, he's gotten higher and higher to be involved in the offense, and that's where he's dangerous. You see him create the corner opportunity.
They elect to go short. Trying to get on the bike right there was Ortega.
Ortega went for the wonder goal.
He missed it. Sent back in by Thomas. Less than 20 seconds remaining. And Burns, extra effort again. A phenomenal save of a penalty kick. One of 4 saves for Wessel Spiel for the Duke Blue Devils. Keeps this one 0-0 through 45.
Dean, it's been a track meet. Both teams have been getting into attack and bringing numbers, and both have done a great job of transition defense. You know, goalkeepers have made great saves.
Ready to roll here for the second half. And here we go, the second half whistle underway. Duke with the blue tops. Wake Forest in the light gold.
Be interesting, Dean, to see the second half adjustments. Wake specifically makes a phenomenal second half adjustments. They had 9 shots on goal in the first 15 minutes of the second half of that Wofford match last week.
Cameron Kerr finding Colton Pleasance. That's the 3rd shot from Pleasance that has not been anywhere near the goal.
He's being aggressive, and he's showing his teammates, I will shoot, and I will shoot early and often.
Jeff, get in! Jeff, get in!
You see Luckhurst and Bjornsson making it nearly impossible for Wake to play out of the back with their positioning.
Here is Luckhurst with the 9 goals. Bjornsson with the 8. Drops it over to Thomas, who was really effective. So Thomas gets the start here. This is one of the best spurts. Thomas has started quite a bit, but for me, that was one of the best games I've seen this year of Luke Thomas when he got in the first half.
Oh, absolutely. He was a game changer. And he seems to get better and better and more confident every year. But specifically, to your point, this match, he came in with a purpose.
So Hot will take the corner kick. 7 corners now for Duke, just one for Wake Forest. Hot over the head of Acito and out of bounds, and it'll come back to Trace Alfin.
Well, Blue Devils pick up right where they left off in terms of corner kicks. 6 in the first half. Already got first one barely 2 minutes into the second half.
Trace Alfin, part of NCFC Youth, which is celebrating 50 years. Started as Castle, the Capital Area Soccer League, converted to NCFC Youth to fall in line with the NCFC Pro team that is led by John Bradford. John Bradford, by the way, one of the 50 in 50 that will be honored as part of a special event October 23rd. Shot here, Pleasance drops it back over, trying to find Lucker, saved, still loose, Bjornsson, and now Alfin has it. And I'm not sure Alfin knew exactly what was going on there, but in the end of the day, he's got it, and Duke had some good opportunities right at the top of the sixth, Cedric.
You talk about a flurry, and that was created by Luke Thomas repressing and his defense creating offensive opportunities. Now, one thing Coach Kerr has really stressed with this team is effective opportunities in the box. We see 3 right there, but you got to put one of those away. Especially the one from Luckhurst. I mean, he had a great look at that one.
Watch this flurry here.
We see Thomas coming again, win that ball, but Bjornsson does a great job of turning on a dime. That ball goes back out to Luckhurst, and he gets a good shot. Then we get a couple more.
Cito. Jorgensen. Luke Thomas paying us off with an aggressive tackle right at the top of the 18 to keep the attack going for Duke. That was really well timed by number 16, Cedric.
It was. Almost as if we spoke it into existence, Dean.
Indeed, Bjornsson. Panza said, yeah, I know you're a big deal at Iceland, but I'm a pretty big deal too.
Those two have been battling all match, and it's been a pretty even matchup thus far. Panza and Bjornsson.
I got here early enough, waiting on Bobby Muse just to go over a couple things, and saw the Wake Forest team coming in, and Prince had his jam going. Whatever he was listening to, he was in the zone, feeling it.
Well, he's playing like it.
Yeah.
What do you think he was listening to, Dean?
Way to trip me up, Cedric. I got nothing. Here's hot. As it's going to go out of bounds. My kids would know.
The kids tell me Gunna is what they listen to get hyped up these days. So
okay.
I may have to ask them after the match.
Money, you gotta go. Money, you gotta go. Money, no, stay no, money,
Yeah, if you see him, please do ask him, because he was, I mean, he was coming in looking as cool as you can be. And he's played it. He's been solid. Here comes Duke. Pleasance, this time on frame, and he'll earn the corner kick. Well done by Colton Pleasance.
And he got one on frame. He's been shooting. That's the 3rd shot that's been deflected by a Wake Forest defender. You see Pleasance open up, get on that right boot. He was going for that right corner, just a deflection. That's Panza getting that thigh in there. Must have been that pregame music.
Prince Panza, the real deal for Wake Forest. Pleasance, solid as well. That was his 4th shot of the game for Pleasance. And Alfin's got it. Alfin's, Pleasance. And Kerr, Drew Kerr, all part of the NCFC Youth. That event is October 23rd. There are still tables and individual seats available. $250. You get a 3-course meal, $100 gift card from soccer.com, and you celebrate with some of the best from the area. They had me at Angus Barn, Cedric.
Glad they're taking care of you over there. You deserve the best, my friend.
Well, great honor to MC that event, as we see a lot of faces I haven't seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, that'll be a family reunion for you.
Indeed. Spiel, without question, the man of the match with the penalty kick save. Has not had as much to do here in the first 8 minutes of the second half.
And Colton Pleasance is looking for all the smoke tonight.
Referee let Pleasance.
He's letting them play.
Yeah. Quick throw in here for the Demon Deacons. Hot. Defensively showing as they'll switch it now to Travis Smith Jr., the sophomore from Louisville. Smith, flag's going to stay down. Cross coming. Met there by Burns. Burns with a back heel to try to get it out of trouble.
Ryan Bilal did a really good job holding his run to not be offsides. I'm sure that was a point of emphasis during the halftime discussion, considering the number of offsides in the first half.
Sidney Paris. Probably lucky he didn't get a yellow there.
Very rare you're going to get a second PK called, especially to your point, Dean, when it's a little bit questionable.
It's Cam Kerr.
We see this again. Sidney Paris, yeah, he went down a little too easily there. Hey, but as an attacking player, you're taught to go down when you feel contact, right?
Yep. Oh, so that's what happened. Aceto tried to clear it and went off the eardrum of Cameron Kerr. That never feels good, Cedric.
No, it does not. Cam Kerr's got those tough Kerr genes. He'll be good to go.
He's going to shake that off. Ears might be ringing just a little bit. Wake Forest sent back in. Cooper Flax serves a pretty good ball. Prince Mpanza fighting for it. Jorgensen defensively. It'll be a throw in to the Demon Deacons.
Mpanza's a center back, but he can get involved offensively. As we mentioned, he scored a couple of games ago, but he looked very comfortable in that ball.
So throw in for the Demon Deacons. Cleared out of the 18 for a moment, but one right back by Flax. They'll switch it. Travis Smith Jr. Smith Jr. back over on his right foot, trying to turn. Gets it back again. This time takes a shot, deflected. And it'll be a corner kick coming for Wake Forest, just their third of the game.
And Travis Smith Jr. is a guy that's been playing out of position all season. He's a natural center back, but we see him playing as an outside back to fill in for some of these injured players. Very effective run right there, cutting across the box.
Yeah, his first instinct was to pass, and then when he got it back, he's like, I'm going to take a shot this time, and earns the corner kick as Cooper Flax out of Dix Hills, New York. Pleasance is fouled.
Pleasance has put in a shift this evening.
Hot was trying to switch it over to Kerr. One back as again they find Flax. Jose Perez had it for a moment. Now it's Travis Smith Jr. again. Sidney Paris, Naval Academy. Now with the Demon Deacons, and Jorgensen is probably going to get a card there.
Yeah, it's definitely a card. Professional foul. That is a place on the field where you cannot get turned on. But what about that distribution from Mpanza?
Oh, he's the real deal.
Oh, absolutely the real deal. And then Ryan Bilal again. Look at this turn. Shields his defender. Perfect turn. Really no option but the foul there.
Bilal, a freshman out of Baltimore. Yeah, he's been good too.
Really good.
Good look there at Jorgensen, a sophomore from Norway. Good size at 6'2".
Aptly with that middle name Bull. He likes to not get physical in there.
I'm thinking Cooper Flax, but Perez looks pretty interested as well. Flax will leave it for Perez, and Perez goes into the wall. Perez will get it back to Flax. Flax played out of there by Masalis, and the wall was ready for Duke. He tried to find Luckhurst.
That's a good step by Umar in there.
You don't always see that many step overs in the middle of the field, but he makes it look good.
Usually you see that on the wing, but he made it look very good and effective. You see Perez again. Good job by that wall, holding their ground.
Adam Luckhurst in the middle of that wall doing the defensive work. It's going to go out of bounds. It'll come back to Spiel. Can we find a goal in this one? Duke, the highest scoring team in the country. Wake Forest, the most shots in the country. But it has not translated into any goals. Spiel denying Cooper Flax from the penalty spot in the first half. If you joined us late, a big save, one of 4 saves for Spiel. Trace Elfin has 2. 2 of the most experienced goalkeepers in the nation featured in this game. As you see the save breakdown. Good run here from Adam Luckhurst with 9 goals. Thomas dribbles into trouble.
So Monty Thomas again over there. Defensive effort. Good patience by Luckhurst to pull that ball back. Luke Thomas probably could have been a little bit more patient as well in the distribution.
Perez gives it back to Sidney Paris. Sidney Paris making a run. Perfect tackle from Acito, timed perfectly, and then Acito is fouled, and this could be a card. Jose Perez.
That was quite the defensive play by Cameron Acito. Perez definitely got him late. Justified yellow card.
4 yellow cards now. Duke. Arbib got one in the 43rd minute. And then Amani Thomas in the 44th. And then 2 in the second half is Jorgensen in minute 56. And now you just saw Jose Perez for Wake. So 2 each. Hot. Side of his foot. Bjornsson. Pass Luckhurst all the way through. Thomas run down toward the end line, and it was Thomas versus Thomas. And they're going to give a corner kick to Duke.
Very impressed by this freshman Amani Thomas. As Coach Moose said, he loves the challenge of defending. And he is absolutely taking accountability in these 1v1 matchups.
Hot will take the corner kick. Bobby Muse, graduate from UConn, 10th year now as the head coach after great success at Denver. Assisted by Steve Armas, Dean Brenner. John Kerr assisted by Michael Brady, Kyle Johnston, and Tristan Urbanski.
I think Wake thought that Duke was trying to run a trick play and it touched that ball over there.
So. Come on, Francie. Bouncing! Move. That's away!
Corner kick all the way across. Acito high in the air was trying to find Bjornsson. Now Burns keeps it on the carpet. Back over to Kerr. Kerr with the right foot, bent around. Snapped out of there by Prince Mpanza.
Good probing ball from Cam Kerr, which he does very effectively. He's had some big-time assists in his career. with those type of balls.
Turn on the far side from Hot. Hot will leave it.
Pace of this match has slowed down ever so slightly, Dean. Both teams are really focusing on possession now versus the consistent counterattack opportunities we saw in the first half.
Really well said, Cedric. Crowd feeling it as well as they're kind of holding their breath a little bit, waiting for a breakthrough moment. Good effort to just keep it in bounds there by Thomas. Ruben Masalas back over to Pleasance. They'll bypass Burns and get it to Acito. Now to Cam Kerr. Cam Kerr is fouled. Travis Smith Jr. a little shove in the back. Hot. Hot, staying with it, Hot. Another move, Hot. And the big save from Alfin.
Hot is literally punching the ground right now because he knows what a solid opportunity that is. And look at his teammate Bjornsson. I love that. Pulling his collar, tell him, hey, we need you. Stay in this game. Don't get frustrated. But Keenan Hott with multiple chances did a great job winning both of those 1v1 battles. Tried to slot that in the left corner and just didn't quite get it, but Alfin stepped up with a great save.
What a quality save from Alfin after brilliance in the box from Hot.
Dean, that might have been the best opportunity of the match.
He went around Prince Mpanza like he was a cone. Just an incredible move in tight quarters. Pleasance kept alive. Cam Kerr, far side, taken down again. On the turn was Acito. Cam Kerr again. Cam Kerr trying to fight for it. And good job defensively by Sidney Paris. But calling for it. Bassett Umar wanted it on the outlet. Jorgensen will get there first.
And that's not what Coach Moose wants. I mean, that was pretty rushed. I mean, they want those opportunities, but again, fast but not rushed. That was a bit rushed. You have no numbers up there for support.
Under 28 minutes remaining in the game. Travis Smith Jr. Back to Mpanza. Alfin. Like Spiel. Delivering as advertised. These two fine goalkeepers. It's an incredible save from Trace Alfin.
See again, Kenny Hott, the first distribution of Bjornsson didn't work. To your point, he beats Mpanza, and Trace Alfin just stands on his head, reads it perfectly. And Mpanza really, he could not step in for fear of creating a PK opportunity, so he stood his ground. And Keenan Hott played that well.
Bobby Muse off his bench to give Bilal a well-deserved hug. Bilal was really good off the bench for the Demon Deacons.
Oh, excellent shift.
Smith Jr. He'll drop it over. Umar. Sliding tackle, one back though by Burns. Burns finds Bjornsson. Bjornsson for Luckhurst. Luckhurst now. Luckhurst takes a look. Luckhurst heads down near the end line, tries to cross. He'll earn a corner kick. Corner kick, Duke.
Good job by Luckhurst. Hey, that's good defense by Daniel Kruger over there. He lets him know. 11 corner kicks for the Blue Devils this evening, Dean.
Salas got Hot over there as well. Cooper Flax will come over near the edge of the 18 just to keep an eye on Hot. So Salas.
Hey guys, everybody, like literally, it's been really good all night. Let's not start winning now. We're gonna make it good. I'm not gonna lie.
We're good. Hey boys, come on. Discipline. Bounce.
Oh, rebounds.
Referee sorts things out. The corner kick comes. Nobody home on the far side, and that's going to be a wasted opportunity for Duke. 11 corners and still no goals. Both goalkeepers making phenomenal saves. I mean, world-class saves, quite frankly.
Look at this through ball, Dean.
Over the top.
Talk about switching the point of attack.
Beal's got to be ready. As that was hit by Jeffrey White, the sophomore, wearing 13.
And we see this pass from Amani Thomas coming out of an overload. Finds the attacker streaking down. Jeffrey White just didn't quite have the angle.
What a beautiful service from Amani Thomas.
Well, great service from Amani Thomas and well-timed run by Jeffrey White over here, making sure he was onside, making sure he held an expansive wide position to stretch the Duke defense.
Burns. And a little shove right there.
Skid and chippy. That's going to be a card.
So a yellow card will be given to Travis Smith Jr., this sophomore. Oh, he didn't need to do that.
No. Just the extracurricular stuff that, with little maturity, you don't do those things. Especially in a match like this. Don't want to hurt your team.
The thing about it is, it was actually a clean tackle. He didn't touch the guy, so he wasn't going to get a card until he just. That's a silly card.
It is. It's a great tackle, and he's played a great match. He's been very effective. Game's got a little chippy in the last few minutes, and I think that's a testament to it. But to your point, just unnecessary.
Kerr. Wake. White again off of Masalis. A bicycle kick goes wanting. Good effort from Cooper Flax. Always great to be at Duke for soccer. I want to thank our crew, producer Will Black, Ivan Pacheco, Chris Tebow, Philip Robinson, Sarah Ellis, Kennedy Jones, Wesley Myers, Jamie Card, Tyler Nelson, Jeff Anderson, and Matt McCula. Matt's been around long enough where he may have a statue made of himself at some point. Spiel sends a long ball, and Panza will get it back to Elfin. Hott wins it, plays it over to Pleasance. Pleasance.
A lot more space. We can see both of these teams are more stretched out. First half, very compact on the attack in terms of getting numbers out. Now a lot of space starting to open up in the middle of the park.
Right there, Danny. Right, Danny. Come on, slide. Get up. Come on, big. Come on, big.
Acito. Cam Kerr first times it.
Good
Finds
early ball.
Bjornsson. Bjornsson with a good turn. He's got Hott. Hott now with a chance to serve. Luckhurst is in there. So is Bjornsson. Hott's going to give it up. Cam Kerr. Cam Kerr with the right foot deflection and pulled out of the air by Trace Alphin.
Good offensive combination.
Jeffrey White. And they'll call the foul against Hott.
Hott, good job to get his body in front of him to stop the promising attack without drawing the card.
Burns.
Dean, this is going to be a chippy, fun final 20 minutes. 20 minutes, it looks like.
It is. 5 yellows and 17 fouls. Once again, in the middle of it is Bassett Umar, number 22. And Umar with his left foot bombs it long. And the attack is on for the Demon Deacons. Turn back over. Umar can turn. Said he'll drop it. Shot coming, but over the 6'7" Spiel and too high.
And Dean, nearly all of the Wake promising attacks now are coming from exploiting those spaces on the wing by quickly switching the point of attack behind the overload. So Monty Thomas, he loves to defend, he's stepping up. Coach Moose pointed out he can get involved in the attack and he's dangerous.
I mentioned earlier, a big day for Bobby Muse, coaching his youngest son. They won 9-2, never in doubt, undefeated, and then watched his daughter, who is now playing collegiate volleyball as a freshman, already a 2-time player of the week in her conference with a lot of kills. And now this matchup here against the Duke Blue Devil. That's a busy day. That's a full day.
That is a full day for the family. Bassett Umar, he has some cheeky, nifty little touches in the midfield.
Well, he really does. Right now on the ball is Rabiu, and he's going to earn a corner kick. So Nico Rabiu, the redshirt sophomore. Now Drew Kerr going to come in for his brother Cam Kerr. Cooper Flack set to take the corner kick as we are under 20 minutes left in this one. Flax pulled out of the air by Spiel. Spiel looking for an outlet, decides to hang on to it.
Good veteran patience from Spiel, making sure his team got up before he made that outlet pass.
Duke with that number 4 RPI. Jorgensen in the battle with Rabiu. Headed there by Jose Perez. Here's White again. White with 2 assists on the season. Much more impactful here in the second half. So he drops it to Colin Thomas, wearing number 26 for Wake Forest. Pleasance will get it back to Aceto, now Jorgensen.
Ruben Masalis was streaking through the middle of the park. He wanted that ball.
Pleasance finds Kerr. Kerr, who just came in for his brother. Drew Kerr, good move. And he'll earn the corner kick. Corner kick coming for Drew Kerr.
It was a good move. I think he threw Travis Smith Jr. a little off balance by going to his right. Everyone expects Drew Kerr to cut in with that left and bang it.
Cooper right.
13 shots for Duke, 10 for Wake Forest. Spiel's got 4 saves. Alphin's got 3 saves. All the saves have been quality.
Those boys.
Drew Kerr with that left foot. Hits it deep. Bjornsson wanted that, but Aceto wanted it more.
Jorgensen's got to open his mouth and call his teammate off. But Cam Macedo, I don't know if anyone's calling him off of that one. He wanted that ball.
Jamie Kabusu coming back into the game. The freshman from Chestnut Hill, Mass, part of the New England Revolution.
He's coming in as a midfielder now, which we've seen him featured in the last few matches. Brings a different level of explosiveness in the middle of the park.
Meanwhile, Bobby Muse has worked Dylan Borso back into the game. And now he'll give Ryan Fessler a run. Fessler from Charlotte, North Carolina, Blue Valley West High School.
The chess match continues, Dean.
Drive, get in. Drive, get in.
Yeah, it really does, because both these teams have quality players on the bench. The sub rules have changed the game a little bit in the men's game. Good turn. Kept alive by Pleasance, and Drew Kerr with that left foot, not deflected. It'll come back to Trace Alphen and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Pressure coming there from Drew Kerr Jr. helps Aceto win it back.
Well, Dean, it's interesting. Wake attempted to play out of the back. They haven't all second half, and really it wasn't on, and they put themselves in a dangerous position.
Hot. Boy, Drew Kerr Jr. has come off the bench to replace his brother Cameron and has been explosive. He didn't have the right pass that last time, but he had a great move to find himself in a good spot. And we've said that a couple times since he's come back in here in the second half, Cedric.
Yep, he immediately has come in, and it's clear he has a purpose for this last 15 minutes to get up and down that line and create opportunities.
Umar over to Flax. Back to Umar. Bassett Umar. I like his game. And Panza.
Yeah, Umar is unapologetically skillful. He's pulled out a couple of moves that are downright first class.
Borso. Borso gets by Kerr. Borso. I think he might have been surprised by how wide open he was after beating Kerr. That would have been a chance. It would have been a tough angle, but as he kept dribbling, the angles were eliminated by Duke. Here's Flax. And this guy just, he always looks calm and cool.
Never flustered.
I mean, I know his PK got saved, but he's still solid. That's Duke's Thomas, as Wake Forest has a couple of players with the last name of Thomas as well.
And we see the lines getting stretched here. An appropriate through ball to try to find Bjornsson by Luke Thomas, but him not winning it. Wake Forest comes right back down the middle.
Into the 18! Spiel with another save. Spiel, the real deal. 5 saves for Duke.
Dean, we should call him Steal, because he is stealing opportunities from these Wake Forest Demon Deacons left and right.
That works as well.
This is a well-taken shot. Spiel gets down, cuts off the angle. Samani Thomas again, he's got involved in this attack quite frequently in the second half. That's his second shot.
I mean, there are pro teams drooling over number 4, Amani Thomas. Right? I mean, the way he can fly and then get shots off like that.
He's a prototypical modern-day pro wingback. Can defend his position, can also get up and down the line and get involved.
Flax. Deceptive speed. And he'll get it back. Quick little passing. Drop back over. Remember that play? That was Kerr getting back in the right time. Drew Kerr to get a piece of it. Here's Luckhurst. Luckhurst has been contained in this game. And Luckhurst a little frustrated, I think.
Yeah, I think this Wake team, they are teeing on him. They are determined to not let him get his score in his 6th straight match.
Something has to give as Trace Alphen and Wake Forest 3 straight shutouts. Duke has scored a goal in every game this season. Yet, with 11:40 remaining in this one, they have not found the back of the net. Wake Forest looking for 4 straight shutouts. That man, Luckhurst, who has scored 5 consecutive games, trying to make it 6. Wolfie with the shot.
Wolfie was setting up. Those are worldies he scores from that distance.
There's Prince Mpanza. So it went off his back. It's Borso, has it taken away. Pleasance, Bjornsson, Luckhurst, tough ball to handle. And Mpanza is there again. Flax. Boy, Flax and Umar they've upgraded their availability, if you know what I mean. I mean, they are ready to win it and attack.
Oh, they're everywhere. They're doing the hard work off the ball to put themselves in position.
It's Fessler. Fessler will get it back. Travis Smith Jr. and now Fessler again. Flax and Umar. Umar turns it over. Bjornsson. Really good tackle from Kabusu, the freshman, to win it back.
That's what he's in there for. Mainly to counter Bassett Umar coming through.
Oh, what a beautiful pass from Hott. Bjornsson, oh, and a neat tackle taken right back by Wake Forest.
Here he is again, Bassett Umar. And Dean, he's almost like a ghost. He just appears in each half. He was just up here winning this, and then he's back here defensively.
Yeah, he is indeed everywhere. Bassett Umar. Duke got 2 in their opener at San Diego, 2-2, then beat UC San Diego 3-2. They fell to Grand Canyon and George Kiefer 2-3. They scored 14 against Averett. They beat George Galnovich 1-0. Fell to North Carolina here 2-1. Then tied Stanford, who was #1 at the time, 2-2. Beat NC State 2-1. Tied SMU 2-2. And beat Elon 2-1. So just to go back to that stat, not only have they scored a goal in every game, in all but 2 they've scored more than 1. Shot coming as the left-footed Borso, his body didn't get over it.
Yeah, Borso wishes he could have that one back, to your point. Just didn't quite get over it and didn't quite get his leg locked in. A little bit of a loose shot.
So Jose Ortega is going to come in for Luckhurst. And number 15, Jack Zugay, the Michigan State transfer, will get a run. The player down is a player we've said a lot, Bassett Umar. There's Bobby Muse. Coach Muse does not strike me as a sit-still kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like he's a keep-it-moving kind of guy.
He's a high-energy coach, man, and he demands that from his players. Bassett Umar might have just needed a hydration break for as much running as he's been doing this evening. Looks like maybe the beginnings of a cramp. He has definitely been the workhorse engine in the middle of the park for these Demon Deacons this evening. It's going right back in.
The magic spray. 15 shots for Duke, 12 for Wake Forest. Almost half of the 12 have been on frame from the Demon Deacons. Just 3 on frame from Duke. 5 saves for Spiel, 3 for Elfin. Flax to Umar. Runs into Jorgensen. Pleasance will push it.
No foul, no foul. That's our way. You're fine, yeah, you're fine.
Clock has stopped again. As coming in for Bobby Muse is Paris Mitchell, freshman from Canada. As coming out of the game is Dylan Borso.
Wake Forest has put their most explosive forward combination out there. It's very clear that both teams are, from a tactical standpoint, are setting up to make a run to win this match.
That's it, right.
Duke. Bjornsson as Wolfie hunting for that first goal.
Great ball in from Luke Thomas. See this ball come whipping in, first touch. It's a great look.
And Panza. So Umar, Smith Jr.
And if he didn't foul Umar was off to the races if he got around hot there. Again, definitely a more measured. And really, Dean, you look at the best 2 opportunities in the match. That PK from Cooper Flax, and then the second half, Keenan Hott with the opportunity in the box. And the common attribute of both was great goalkeeper play.
Spiel under pressure, 6'7", showing the footwork. Crowd likes it.
You talk about confidence.
That's a lot of soccer, right?
Yeah. That's a guy on his grad year, making his 86th start.
Thomas. Cross, Pleasance. Oh, Pleasance dribbled himself out of a shooting position. Pleasance, who had 4 shots almost immediately, this time decided he needed an extra touch, and it took him out of an opportunity to shoot it yet again.
Yeah, Pleasance receives this ball in good position. Travis Smith Jr. did a good job standing his ground, and Pleasance just went a little too far right and couldn't keep his footing.
Under 5 minutes remaining in yet another tough, physical ACC soccer match with great skill, though. I mean, the passing, the way both teams have been able to break down lines, be dangerous. I mean, there's been a lot of shots, 28 shots, 16 for Duke, 12 for Wake Forest. One back by the Demon Deacons, just over 4 minutes remaining.
Well, Dean, we knew in this match we were going to see a lot of offensive opportunity and shots and great goalkeeper play. And it has played up to the script.
It really has. And Ponzu will send it out of bounds as starting to cramp up with Travis Smith Jr. This game was flying along, and now we've had a couple times where Wake Forest has just sat down with some issues. Bobby Muse is going to bring in Nicholas Mancilla, the senior out of Chile. Bobby Muse telling his team to keep on going.
And we see both of these teams getting some last-minute instruction from these sidelines. The other half of the Silver Fox combo, Mike Brady down there, coaching up his boys as well.
Great job by Aceto to head it over to Zugay. Zugay. And Zugay earns the whistle. So Zugay into the game late here. I asked John Kerr Jr. who might we see, and he rattled through him, and he said, "Oh yeah, and then your guy as well." Knowing that I've called a few Michigan State games. He's so funny.
Cabuso's wide open on this right side if he can get it to him.
Good call, Cabuso. Just over.
And I can tell by Coach Brady's reaction, he just coached him up on that. If we get it, drift out wide, find yourself an open position, get in the box. Cross was just a little bit rushed.
John Kerr Jr. then was on a roll. He had a little health scare 3 weeks ago. Not once, but twice visiting the hospital. Lost like 20 pounds. He checked on my health, and I said, well, I'm feeling better, but the problem is I'm put 10 of the 20 back on. And he's like, you ever heard of a treadmill? Take me like a dagger.
And he's going to have you out of training next week, man.
Of course, he knew the answer was no.
Well, I'm very glad you're back up and at 'em. Wouldn't be the same without you.
I appreciate it, Cedric. Always great to be with you in the booth. Always great to be here at Koskinen. Yep. Spiel. Looking for Bjornsson. Now Pleasance. Dropped. Squared. Shot! Oh my! What a wonder save! An unbelievable shot from the top of the 18 from Hott. But yet another save from Trace Elfin. Reppin' NCFC Youth Academy and reppin' Wake Forest.
Dean, what a save. Keenan Hott absolutely laced that ball. And Alfin was right on it.
Not one, but two surefire goals from Hott denied by one of the best goalkeepers in the country, Trace Elfin. What a save.
Even more impressive, it was with his trailing hand as he was going to his right. He saved that with his left.
And Panza will head it out of there.
Oh, Dean, what a game winner that would have been.
Hott absolutely smashed it by that man there, Trace Elfin. I just get the feeling that his heartbeat, his blood pressure, everything's still the same. Now a chance for Wake Forest in the final seconds. The Demon Deacons. They find Flax. And they find him again. Can they find Umar? Not before Hott gets a piece of it. One back though by Flax. Flax going to dribble into it. And he'll take a shot, and that will do it. Wow. 30 total shots, but no goals. Incredible saves from both teams. Bobby Muse's Trace Alfin, amazing. And Wessel Spiel for John Kerr Jr., amazing.